Well, I swear some of y'all must be gymnasts with how far you bent over backwards trying to blame everybody but the person who pulled that trigger. And then you got up in this comment section showing your ass more than a cat in a crowd. Let's go ahead and end this trilogy because I'm tired of thinking about Charlie Kirk, and I'm certainly done watching these highlight reels of all these atrocious, monstrous things that he said while pretending to be a Christian. See, when it's your perfect villain, the right does not give a shit about nature versus nurture. It's just lock them up, death penalty, case closed. Y'all didn't care about the life of the trans person that shot those kids up 2 weeks ago, right? But as soon as it's someone that doesn't quite fit that bill, suddenly it's the roommate's fault. It's Reddit's fault. The Democrats radicalized him. Moms, don't send your kids to college. They're brainwashing them. So you mean to tell me that Tyler Robinson's conservative Mormon upbringing, where he had access to guns his entire life, had absolutely nothing to do with who he was as a person, but somehow his roommate and college professors completely altered his perception of reality so much that they molded him into a sniper? Be so for real right now. The gun was a family heirloom. You know what I see? A white man was responsible for yet another public shooting, and nobody on the right is talking about guns. They're talking about his proximity to a trans person and Reddit threads. If you actually believe that environments and the people in them and the words that they use can have an effect on shaping someone into a criminal, then don't you wonder, what effect did Charlie Kirk spewing hate every single time he opened his mouth have? He had a really big platform. Some people might have even considered him to be a teacher. Don't you think that his words mattered and that his words had an effect on someone? See, the problem is that so many of you don't care about consistency. You'll say and do whatever you have to protect your guns and to shift the focus away from the conservative, right-wing Christian lunatics that are constantly speaking on, encouraging, and committing hate crimes, half the time doing it in the name of the Lord. 3 people were found hanged this week, 2 black and 1 homeless, the youngest of which was a 7-year-old who was hung by a 4th grader. He thankfully lived. But are y'all gonna figure out who killed those guys and find out why? No. You'll ignore that. Y'all didn't give a shit about Melissa Hortman and her spouse and their dog getting murdered in their own house. But you'll use this. Now that you've built your perfect little criminal, you'll just spread speculation and exacerbated rumor, and this will be your catalyst for continued attacks on the left. And y'all pick and prod and poke and then have the absolute fucking audacity to have a total mental breakdown when we follow suit instead of just rolling over and letting you demonize us. Tyler Robinson, a white male, committed this crime with a gun. Not his roommate and not his buddies on the deep web. So pick a lane. Either environments matter or they don't. Either we take all factors into consideration or we just blame the criminal. Either words don't radicalize people or they do. And if they do, well, Charlie Kirk was exactly the type of person who was coercive enough to inspire a new wave of misogynist, homophobic, racist criminals. And something tells me, considering how so many of you are rose-washing Charlie Kirk's entire existence now that he got the very thing for which he advocated, that he managed to do just that. As I said in my first video, I am not crying for Charlie Kirk, but I'm also not crying for Tyler Robinson. I think that the universe took care of 2 very dangerous people. And unfortunately, that has also opened up the floodgates for even more atrocities. So strap in, because it's going to be a real bumpy fucking ride.